happy Holy Thursday.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Thanks.
Happy
Do,
almost
do you do
Easter.
anything though on Thursday?
I mean, pray.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that Thursday was like a big thing, and then it hit me when somebody said Happy Holy
Holy
Thursday. I'm like,
Thursday. Yeah. Holy Week
oh,
all
it's a
week.
thing. Yeah.
It's a
I
thing.
see.
Yeah.
I'm not Catholic,
Yeah.
so I don't know, but
Yeah.
um,
So I've got two words for you. Ready?
yeah.
TikTok.
No. I will batch TikTok all day, every day. I have no use for it. I don't see any purpose in it. I know a lot of like our audience, that young parents out there probably use it for a lot of, parenting advice. And it's a quick, easy way for everybody to have fun. But I think it was after COVID, somewhere
Hmm.
around COVID, TikTok was having these challenges for just insanity. The first one I ever heard of was like, I think it was either steal the mirror from your high school bathroom or vandalize your high school bathroom, something, and film yourself. And so our bathrooms, I mean, a good school, our bathrooms were vandalized and we had to lock them down. And then of course the whole, oh, you can't keep kids from going to the bathroom. Well, those bathrooms, and here's the kicker, those bathrooms were just remodeled and
Oh
upgraded and
no.
looked beautiful. And they went in and vandalized them and pulled them apart.
Okay,
There
but
was,
wait a second. So they were filming in the restroom.
mhm.
Isn't that like really frowned upon? I mean, like that's
Yeah,
like talk
mhm.
about an invasion of privacy.
Right. But we
Okay,
don't
sorry.
discipline. We don't, yeah, but we don't discipline for things like that. Oh, don't do that. Oh, you know what? We're going to close the bathrooms. So now all these other kids who are good kids can't go to the bathroom because some Nimrod had to anyway. But there was another one that I mean, there were tons of, like, every month they had a different TikTok challenge. And there was one that was smack a teacher on the ass.
Oh no.
I, ooh, all kinds of things. It's like one person touched me, I'm claiming assault. I'm charging you with assault, and you're close enough to adulthood, it's gonna stick, it's gonna sting. And then if my school, which was a very real possibility, if my school would have blocked me from filing charges, I would have taken them up on like some kind of a not conspiracy, but accomplice kind of thing. Because no, don't touch me. No teacher, but no. And for TikTok to think that that was a thing that we should be doing and get, I just have no use for TikTok.
Well,
I,
okay, like my age is showing here. Like who like random people on TikTok would throw this out as a challenge or TikTok as the company was throwing this out or where were they coming from?
just the users on TikTok would throw these things out, and then it would become a trend. Huh? Trends. Who knew trends could be bad for you?
Oh, gee.
Yeah,
Gosh.
right. So that's, I'm not one for trends anyway, because yeah, it might be fun to do something and be part of a trend, but to let a trend guide your whole life and just and put you in harm's way. Because if anybody would have smacked me, I'm pretty sure I would have retaliated with either something to a knee to the places you shouldn't, which I guess you can't do that to a child, but
I don't
self-defense,
know.
you smacked me.
If I'm being attacked, I don't
Mhm.
know that I'm paying attention to that. Attack
Right.
is attack.
If I'm attacked and if I'm hit like that, oh, it was just a prank. It's like, no, that crosses the line into personal space and assault. And I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
No. Um, okay, so TikTok is definitely, a trend setter.
Yeah,
Um,
good, bad, and indifferent.
I mean, like, but we get them all over. Like before any of that ever became a thing. Do you remember like the Tide Pod?
I believe that was also a TikTok
Was
challenge.
that?
I believe it was.
Okay, and like eating, trying to eat a whole bunch of ground cinnamon. Was that also TikTok?
Yes, I believe that was also a TikTok challenge.
Okay. yeah, some of these things like I want to kind of just loop around to what you were talking about earlier about like the lack of common sense and the like, like evaluating some of these things for a safety purpose. It's like,
Mhm.
TikTok challenge. Hey, let's all take some cyanide.
Right?
I mean,
No,
like, at what point do we like, hey, maybe this is the wrong idea.
but right, because some of those challenges, I think they started out with good intent. Like there was the ice water
Yeah,
bucket
yeah, I
challenge
remember
thing.
that. Hmm.
That was for good. Okay, great. That was funny. Um, you know, I think those kind of things would be great, but then why do we start pushing into more and more destructive and assault, and why hurt another person, and why now remember in China, because TikTok is a Chinese company, the like third graders are learning on TikTok how to dismantle and put together handguns. They're
Oh,
using TikTok for educational purposes. And yes, I do believe that is a valid educational purpose. Maybe not third graders, but
I was gonna say,
but
I'm
but then
not sure I
again,
want
in
my
China,
third grade class.
but in China, if they're learning to handle handguns, maybe they have better uh safety awareness than we Americans do, or it's like, just go shoot them all up. I don't know. I haven't done that study, and maybe that's something worth looking into. But if third graders in China are getting education, why do we get Tide Pods in America? What? How? We are not dumb, are we? Or are we followers? Maybe I don't
Okay,
know.
this is something that actually statistically, this generation that's coming up is the first generation in recorded history to be dumber than the parents. Every generation up until this point, we have been pushed, we have like worked to excel. There are goals, there are that, and there are none of those expectations on this generation. They actually, and I mean, like, across the board, IQs are shrinking. I saw an interesting study 2 days ago about how they were doing MRIs on white matter in the brain is
Mhm,
actually the myelin sheath that goes around
mhm,
the neurons that connects. It protects the connection. That's how we can
mhm.
have long-term thoughts. That's how we can have memories. That's how we can, like, all of these other functions that we have beyond just
Right,
like I'm gonna breathe, right?
right.
Okay, so white matter is shrinking at kind of a frightening rate based on game usage on phones. And this study was across the ages. I mean, like, they were even like looking at 3 year olds white matter, and they found a significant reduction. And that's the correlation, is like the more time people spend, not just like education, we're not talking that, I'm talking about video games and the
Mhm,
mindless scrolling. Those two
mhm.
functions are literally shrinking our brains.
I can't tell you how many ways that breaks my heart. I get, you know what? That goes back to my whole spiel of stolen possibilities.
Yes,
We've
yes,
just stolen. Oh, it
right.
just breaks my heart.
And
Well, and then that does tie into education, because I've just been listening to some new educators. So there are some new girls that are out, in teacher school, let's say, and they they're being told these things, that it's the unions that are going to decide what is being taught in schools, and that you have to get in touch, you have to get to know your school union for curriculum design. And their books in college are teaching them this,
it,
instead of learning for learning's sake, and like education and
well,
acknowledgement and exploration, and it oh
one of the great philosophical debates forever has been, how do we define IQ. What does intelligence mean?
Hmm. Right.
And like an IQ test designed for like an average American, and by that I mean like think really broad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you go apply it to the Aborigines in Australia. How do we compare like across cultures what IQ means? How do we define it across cultures?
Yeah.
And like the bottom line that I've always kind of like seen is that the really the definition of IQ is your ability to solve problems.
Hmm.
We're
Yeah.
losing that.
That's fair. Yeah.
Sweden actually, like there was a big thing in the news the other day about Sweden had like 3 years ago, 2023. Yeah, that's 3 years. I can count.
Hmm.
um, had
Education.
okay, they had given they decided everyone, all students get iPads and phones and we're going
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
high tech. And they saw like this frightening decrease in across like all their tests, everything
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
plummeted. And
Hmm.
so they took it all away and things are increasing again. And like all the little things that you and I think, take for granted because it was just part of the world we grew up in,
Hmm.
it no longer exists in that shape. And
Yeah.
the some of it is like unplug, unplug everything. Like there's a switch in your house you can go and literally shut everything off,
Right. Right.
play with
And
flashlights and candles and don't burn the house down. Um
boxes.
exactly. Throw all of the Lego instructions away.
Hmm.
Create, build, make
And
mud pies again.
less and less toys. We keep buying toys because we want our kids to, feel like, oh, they had everything. They're not going to want for anything. It's like the one thing they want, and I'm not like, the one thing children want is experience with mom and dad, not the
And,
toys.
and
Build memories, create something with a box and blankets instead
right.
of, instead of the toys.
But also, while you're doing that, remember you are the parent.
Uh-huh.
You are not
Uh-huh.
the playmate.
Right.
So you play with them, you teach them how to play. Then you
Uh-huh.
take them with you and you teach them how to clean a toilet. And you teach
Uh-huh.
them this is how
Uh-huh.
we unload the dishwasher. And
Yep.
the whole idea is you're sending your DNA into the future and you want it to succeed and thrive. You are
Right.
not going to be there in
Right.
the future to make sure it's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and your study on the Swedish, you said,
Yeah.
where who that's what we're doing here in America. We need to be high tech. We need to teach them tech. So we're going to give everybody a laptop, but not do anything different with it. So all their lessons are on the laptop instead of on a book, instead of pencil and paper. Great. Taught them nothing about tech. Oh, they can turn on a laptop. Great. They can access a class. Great. But what are they doing with the tech to learn anything about technology? And
Exactly. You and I
we're not
probably,
building
yeah,
any new class, or we're not building any new lectures or any new lessons. Everything's just housed on the laptop now. We're not using it for what it really should be used for that, like I said, that exploration and genius hour. Could you imagine how great genius hours would be for kids? We would show them what they could do instead of, oh, game.
yeah, no, exactly. Kind of ties into, you know, school is not a trend.
Yes, and I actually touched upon that in the book too, that we are creating more and more trendy education. As a matter of fact, with discipline, that we have. I did a Google search for, discipline in high school, and I can't tell you the list of titles that came up saying something like discipline in the classroom that actually works, that really works. This will work. It's like, so what you're telling me is that all of this other discipline gobbledygook that you've been throwing at us in our professional development doesn't work. So they just,
Right.
a new trend, we'll just repackage something else. And that way, we can make it, it becomes big ed now. We have this whole educational complex that is designed to create more books for the elites than just get back to basics, common sense. I I just the trends in education, they don't work
But
because we have to create a new social problem that needs to be the blame for why nothing works, and all these poor children are marginalized, they just can't learn. It's like BS. Every kid can learn, every kid can learn, and I proved it time and time again. I created lessons, I created whole programs that were designed for meet the kids where they are. If we need to backfill some skill, let's do that. And they were successful. And I would track those kids later in the next, when I had them sophomore year, and then when they go into junior year, you track those kids like, hey, stuff I taught them followed them. They transferred that information. But guess what my district decided to do? Can't do that. We're gonna just let that program go. It's like, why? It works. Never got an explanation for why. Never. But it was just like, yeah, we know it's successful and it's working, but we're going to go a different direction because they needed, dare I say it, they needed to prove to the district that they needed more funding and money to basically do what I did, but they can't give me any more money for creating my program because I'm a teacher and that's just what you're supposed to do. But they needed to bring in experts from somewhere else that they could basically duplicate what I had already done. It's like, ugh,
right, right. Well, no. School education is not a trend. Parenting is not a trend.
no,
Just parent.
just parent, just teach.
Just teach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, here we go.